Well, I'm lucky for my fingers, a lucky bed to sleep, a lucky thoughts to linger, lucky as I leave. Sometimes I turn my mind to days before we broke in two. But I'm lucky, so lucky for the times I spent with you. Hello and welcome to the Lo-Fi Lounge. This is Chris LeRoy. We have a variety show for you. There's going to be music and film and interviews, all in one 20-minute package. So glad you're here. We'll get started right now. Let them motor run. We won't stay too long, long enough to see we do not belong. Might have simple plans, might have simple dreams, won't meet your demands. That's clear enough to see. Country, we know what we need: love and conscience, peace and dignity. Let them motor run. We won't stay too long, long enough to see. Won't be hanging on. But out here in the country, we know what we need: love, a conscience, peace and dignity. Staying on. But out here in the country, we know what we need: love, conscience, peace and out here in the country, we know what we need: peace and dignity. Let the motor run. Let the motor run. Let the motor run.
Welcome to Film Talk. I'm your host, Ryan Harsh. With me today is Bob LeRoy. You've made a very stark, impressionistic kind of view of the city of Colton called Hub City Heroes. Is this really about Colton, or is this about something else?
It's both. I mean, if you think about it, it's a snapshot of Americana, as opposed to, you could say, it's anywhere in the country. I mean, I don't think that's why, in constructing it, we don't see one particular person talking. Actually, we never really see anybody talking.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I kind of give a universal approach to the dialogue. And you just see images. You see these long tracking shots. You see close-ups. You see a few photographs. But you don't connect with a voice to a particular image. And by doing that, it allows the viewer, even though it is about Colton, it's about a town I grew up in, it's a town my brother grew up in, my friends grew up in, but I think there's more of a universal statement. And I think even if you were in Europe, you would say that could be my town.
Oh, now that's life in Colton there, you know, dodging warrants, dodging cops, you know, things like that. And
this is the essence of small-town Americana in Colton, California, you know, because you got everything there.
I wrote this song. I was up all night long. What was that? Like 4 nights ago? It's an awful song. I hate this song. It's the only thing I've written in the last 6 months.
Maybe when I came back to make this film, I wanted to know something about my past. Maybe I just came back to see if everything was still the same.
Sitting pretty on a fence. No future made no friends.
I'm a part of the city. I grew up in the city. They're just people. These are just people that live there.
That's the Three of the Ugly Twins. They're right there on that, right there at the end of this street. You're all
still alive?
Well, I like Colton.
Oh, yeah.
I like Colton, even though they're trying to turn it into a little town in Orange County.
How many,
You know,
how
we're
many
in San
girls in
Bernardino
that
County.
family?
Six.
That guy could
Six.
have one boy out of
Could
them.
have one boy, no.
And there's triplets, and I mean, they're about the ugliest girls I've ever seen.
Oh,
The
yeah.
brown.
Yeah, they were all my age. They were all
All
my
the
age.
triplets for your age?
Yeah.
And has lots of personality.
That
That guy right there on the corner just OD'd about 2 months ago.
Yeah, his heart burst at the park. He took like 2 doses of speed.
He did the Lenny Bruce, they found it like that, you know, the
cocaine
classic.
or a speedball or something like that in one shot, and they found him with a needle in his arm.
Blonde-haired guy, kind of wore it like a
Pete
Brian
Doherty
Johnson.
died here at the what's that motel called?
Driftwood.
Driftwood. He OD'd. What we now call it the Pete Doherty Memorial Motel.
Oh, you remember Chris? I just seen him 2 weeks before he
died.
OD'd.
He's
He just
dead.
OD'd over here on 9th Street.
It's supposedly an OD. They've kept it really hush.
Who else?
Oh my word! And remember Crazy David? Somebody said he committed suicide a couple years ago.
Triangle head.
And I'm trying to think. There's been a number of deaths in ours. We've had a number of car accidents. Richard Lurch. Richard, he OD'd. It was right after his father had passed away, and they found him like dead in his back of his truck or something like that. But
Well, he
there's
was
some
always
rumors,
doing
though, that
something
he was
weird.
crazy, but there's some rumors that maybe the Mexican mafia went after him because he and
Did you deal for him?
Leo Carrillo had killed 2 guys.
For the Mexican mafia?
No,
Oh.
Allegedly, yeah.
allegedly in a drug deal.
Hey, Mike Egan and I are going to play some songs for you right now. Let's check it out. Sun came up this morning and I'm fading away. Last night's biggest light going faint in the day. Growing faint in the day. I left the window open. There was a songbird near. And pretty bird, won't you sit for me before we disappear? Before we disappear. You can't be a stranger in your own land. You can't be a stranger stranger on your own. When television is hazy, you pull the rabbit ears through the courthouse open wide. They took a souvenir. Souvenirs. I went out to the city square amid the boos and cheers. Well, some are wrong about what I said. It makes me disappear. Didn't ring clear. You can't be a stranger on your own land. You can't be a stranger on your own. Okay. Where the lights are shining, smiles of tears. You hear the wind on the silent streets, and it's music to my ears. Music to my ears. Leave the window open. Is there a songbird near? A pretty bird wants to sing for me before we disappear. Before we disappear. Oh, you can't be a stranger in your own land. You can't be a stranger on your own land. Oh, you can't be a stranger on your own land. You can't be a stranger on your own.
I love that song. That's one of my favorite ones that you've written.
Yeah. And I remembered 70% of the words.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It's like a 30% discount, right? Something like that.
That joke works every time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our inaugural episode of Dylan Box. I'm your co-host, Ryan Harsh. With me is...
I'm Chris LeRoy.
And we're here to talk about all things Dylan, starting with what's in the box.
Absolutely.
But first, I want to, since this is our first episode, I want to talk a little bit about our personal history with the man himself, and how we came to him and what he means to us. And start with you.
Well, you know, folks would always tell me I'm a songwriter. I've been in this band, The Dangers, for about 40 years. And people would tell me when I would record things or they'd see me in a studio, come up and tell me, I don't want to insult you, but you sound like Bob Dylan. Well, you know, I learned to play guitar, with a Bob Dylan easy chord songbook, not ukulele, but, Blowing in the Wind. And that's my first chords that I figured out that were functional. And so being on that ride with this person who's created this body of work that's impossible, will never be equaled, has been a unique journey, but especially if you're a songwriter, because I think all songwriters, they're a little competitive. They want to know that they're doing quality stuff too. So he's the high water mark for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Me, a little different. I'm an English major and a music junkie. And I think I first discovered Dylan when I was about 16.
Okay.
And it really started with an image. It was the cover of Blonde on Blonde.
Ah.
It was just that kind of like that blurred photo, and that really drew me in terms of it just like looking kind of mysterious and not really sure what was about, what was
Yeah.
on the inside.
What's there?
The first actual record I heard was "Bringing It All Back Home,"
Okay.
and to me, that's to this day is my favorite album because of that reason, and just because of that album as a whole. It just takes you through this whole range of emotions from the beginning to the end. A lot of it's funny, a lot of it's dark, a lot of it's very surreal and what have you. So just going from there and listening to everything, it's just amazing to me how that career spans and touches so many places that everyone has their own favorite stuff and some like other things. And there's things I like that I don't, and there's other things I don't like so much. So.
People will die on a hill about, a bad Dylan song.
But I think we're starting with probably the most contentious era.
Yeah.
I believe.
I think so.
So should we on purpose?
Oh, maybe. Maybe could be.
Yeah.
Should we look what's in the Dylan box?
Yeah, go ahead and grab out, take a gander in there.
Here we go. See how tall I can be? Let's go with... Here today we're going to be talking about this box set of Bob Dylan's, very controversial era. We had 3 albums that is Christian-themed records. Welcome back, my friends. So glad that you're here. Here's some coming events. Johnny Hickman and I are working on some things together to share with you. Certainly the History of the Dangers will be a fun project. There'll also be performances of Dangers past and present. And any interview or performances that you see today, there's going to be extended versions that are available on our website. I'm happy as a mushroom cloud you called out loud. I'm happy to live without, sold out. So happy when you heard me go. Please shut the door. Forgotten what we came here for. Sold out. Close your eyes and rest your mind. You'll remember since you run. I hope you find love forever. You're happy as a summer cloud, unbent, unbound, melt into this crowd. You're so loud. Close your eyes, rest your mind. You'll remember since you run. I hope you find love forever. And in between these rocks and stones, as white as bones, because we wander far from home, all alone. We remember down the road, one love, one soul. If happiness is where you go, you go. Close your eyes, press your mind, and you'll remember. Since you gone, I hope you find a love forever. And close your eyes and press your mind, and you'll remember. should rock my